I'm David Hughes, I'm the Managing Director for Luban Restaurant.
And I am Dave Critchley, Executive Head Chef and Director at Luban Restaurant as well.
So the shop window is a high quality Chinese restaurant. It's inspired by the food of Tianjin. We're very lucky that Dave, as part of his induction, spent 5 days in Tianjin, learning all from the master chefs about their techniques, and their techniques of Chinese food are very different than the Western Chinese food that we get here. Our food's Cantonese, their food is Mandarin, which is it's a different style, and there's a lot of different techniques, and Dave's probably the best person to talk about that.
Yeah, so the style in Tianjin is, well, it's described as Jin food really, and very much takes influence from the surrounding areas and often the sea as well, so there's lots of fresh seafood there. It's really cool because Tianjin has a lot of influences from other areas of China, so you do get to see some of these classic dishes that you might recognise on menus, but they're just really refined and really beautiful compared to what we're kind of used to. So really nice emphasis on fresh flavours, delicate and seasonal produce. It's really nice. It's just a really refreshing style of food really.
So the history of Luban is probably coming up to 2.5 years ago now. We met with a training company called PAM Education, and they've been working with the Tianjin Food Group around about sort of open the world up to China and all the great things that China does, and they still do. And they wanted an education program brought to life. So we met with the Tianjin Food Group and the Tianjin School of Commerce, and we pulled together, basically they wanted a training restaurant. We, as commercial as I am and as Dave is, we said to them, training restaurants, people get a little bit nervous about because they think it is literally that the staff that they are being trained on. So we explained to them that it would be better to have a commercial restaurant as the shop window, and it's underpinned by great training. So our model is to provide great training across the hospitality industry, whether that's local people, whether that's people across the UK, people across Europe, people across the world. They can all come and train at Luban, and they can learn Chinese food techniques under British standards. I think being in Liverpool makes us different. You know, as Scousers, we do like a good party. So yeah, we're really lucky in the city that we've got a great hospitality sector. And for us, what we always want to do is sort of improve. You know, we always said we set our benchmark very high. We want the best people. That's why we've got people like Dave, Dimitri works for us, Lauren, Tony, Niall. These are all people who are across the industry, are very well respected, and are people that we just wanted the best. We met with the Chinese community, a really good friend of ours, and he asked us whether we would have Chinese chefs, and we just said we would have the best chefs. And he really struggled with that until he came and tried the food, and the actually man said some of the best Chinese food he's ever had.
Yeah, I've always said since signing my life away, in the nicest way possible, this is the most exciting project I've ever been part of. Not just being flown out to China, I'm not just learning the new skills, everything about it. It really is not just a restaurant, which sounds a bit cliche, but we have all kinds of events here. We have lots of live music, the food's brilliant, we aim for really high standards of service, but we all have fun here as well. It's a team that we've built, it's a family that we've built really, isn't it? Everyone supports each other here. We wanted to do things the right way. Hospitality can get a bad press for long hours and not treating staff right, and we said from day one, someone has to make the change. We can all talk about it, but someone actually physically has to go and do it, and we believe that's what we're doing every single day. So yeah, it's completely different from anywhere I've worked before, and I'm absolutely loving it here. It's an amazing team to be part of.
There's a couple that sort of spring to mind straight away. Obviously, the whole country had to diversify over the last 12-18 months. So we launched 2 incredibly exciting products. One's called Luban Kitchen, where you can have restaurant quality food delivered to your home and you will reheat it at home. The quality is almost as good as what you would get here, but that's always going to be the case with anything that is cooked and then chilled and frozen and then delivered to your door. So we would welcome everybody to go onto our website, lubankitchen.co.uk. And Dave, you can talk about well-fed, because that's really your baby.
Yeah, so I created Lids when this all first happened, which is Liverpool Independent Delivered Services, and that was providing a service for people who couldn't get food delivered at the time, and we saw all the problems with the supermarkets and also local businesses. I wanted to support them, so we all bandied together and created Lids, which was 32 independent suppliers, all trading on one platform, all delivered in one parcel basically, and people could do their own shopping there. And it was through that I met a few people, and we kind of discussed problems within the communities with people who couldn't afford to maybe buy their shopping this way. And Well-Fed came into fruition, which is effectively a project where we deliver out boxes to, let's say, families that need a bit of assistance. And these are meal boxes with all the ingredients, but you cook it yourself. This is a learning tool as well. This is teaching people nutrition and how to cook a good meal. It's all very well giving people food that's ready-made and done, but how does that really address the problem? We wanted to teach people and give people that kind of power to go and do this themselves. So that's been really successful, and we've reached hundreds, thousands of people possibly with this project over the last 18 months or so, working with some amazing partners, LFC Red Neighbours, Everton in the Community, and the local councils, Wirral Council. It's been fantastic with some housing associations as well. They've really picked up on the Well-Fed project and delivered it out to their kind of less fortunate clients as well. So now it's been really good. It's been great to give back to the community, which is again something that Luban really does stand for. We're part of the community, and we want to promote the community and be giving back to the community as much as we can. Well, domination.
Yeah, we're well up for that, aren't we? I think the thing for us now is obviously we need to stabilise as lots of hospitality businesses do. We've had the longest pre-opening of any restaurant that's out there with open and closes. So just to stay open, and not close is obviously a dream in the short term. No more lockdowns. But for us, what we're going to do is we've got rollout expansions across the UK. Dave and I were in London yesterday looking at sort of different concepts in this restaurant on some of the clever spaces that we've got, and really exciting spaces. And we've also developed sort of a different version of Luban restaurant, which might be a little bit more sort of mainstreamy, and something which would sort of fit the high street. So we're looking around at venues for them. So we've got lots of new ideas about things that we can bring, but it's probably a case of watch this space, because they are being developed and nurtured. One of the most exciting things that we have got is our charity, Luban Foundation, which we're delighted that Downtown Select is going to work with us closely on. So we've got charitable status in the last couple of months. We've got an amazing board, and for that we'll be raising funds across the year, and that will be aimed at, as Dave said, those families who are maybe a little bit less well off, or need that little bit of helping hands, and bringing people into the industry, getting people into hospitality. They may come on and get a scholarship with us, where they can come and train with us, whereas normally they may have to pay for that. We'll get those people in the industry, and we'll look after them and give them a great career. I mean, I've known Frank forever. I've worked with Downtown right across whichever business I've been working with, and it just is. It's the best influencing company that's out there. They knit everything together. Whether whether you need support on property and you need a bit of advice from someone, whether it's health and safety, whether you just there's somebody that you just need to speak to and you just can't get to them. You can guarantee that one of Downtown events, somebody will be there, and whether it's Frank or one of the team, they'll do the introduction for you. And for us, what we wanted to do here was showcase what we do in the hospitality industry, and sort of get those guests starting to come to see us, because we are a little bit off the beaten track. We're in an area that people would maybe not consider But actually, once we get people here, they never leave.
Yeah, so this is our wine room. It backs onto the wine cellar, which is very visible through these lovely glass windows. And the idea around this room is wine tastings are ideal. Obviously, the host or the guests can be invited into the wine cellars and try the wines there, come back to the tables and we can serve these amazing wines. It also doubles up, as every other room in this business does, as a training space or a boardroom. This is a great board table, and as you see, we've got the TV screens in all the rooms and Bluetooth as well, so they can all be used for meetings, breakout spaces, or to dine in here as well. So it's a stunning room. I love this room. It's really beautiful. It's exactly the style that we saw out in China, the way it's designed and decorated. But yeah, perfect room for these events. It'll be great having people around the table speaking to each other, bouncing ideas off each other. It's just ideal space, isn't it? Yeah, so you have to be invited to go on there. You can't apply yourself. And Laura Worthington of Laura's Little Bakery fame put my name forward. And then, yeah, we found out last year that was going to be on it. And it was an incredible experience. It was difficult timing. We were still open as a restaurant, whereas everywhere else in the country was closed. Liverpool was alive and kicking, just about. So timing wasn't ideal, but we had to do it, and it's something that I've always wanted to do. I've watched that programme growing up as a chef, and it's something that you aspire to be on one day. So it was certainly a box ticked off for me, and a small dream come true, really, to get on there. It was an honour to represent Northwest, and hopefully everyone specifically noticed I went purely Liverpool to talk about Liverpool and tell everyone how good it is, because that's my city. I'm immensely proud to be from Liverpool, and yeah, it was great to get on there and talk about some amazing people from Liverpool and really just have some fun. I went on there to have fun and yeah, to enjoy the experience, and hopefully that came across.
Am I going to say you're going to say it?
Dave said he'd make me famous one day. That was many years ago, wasn't it? Before I even came to work here. So I'd like to think I did some of that on my own. We were a good team.
I think you did the majority of it, in fairness, but I do like to pull his leg all the time about it.
Yeah, it's certainly something that I wasn't pushing for to be a celebrity chef or whatever, but you do what you need to do for the business.
You're so funny. I told him, I said to him, we will make you famous here. That was very clearly where it was, and you just need to come along with it. And you embraced it. You really did embrace it. And in fairness, I tell you what, he's made himself famous because he does the right thing, and that's very, very difficult. In difficult times, to always do the right thing. And he holds us accountable all the time.
That's nice, I think. Yeah. So Bottomless Brunch was something we developed last year, and has been absolutely incredible, really, hasn't it? We wanted to change a tempo, and part of what we're all pushing for here is we want Luban to be a lot of different things. We don't want it to be the same every day. We'd like people to come for different experiences, so you can come and have Bottomless Brunch. If you come on a Friday evening, for example, totally different tempo, but we'll start with the Bottomless Brunches. It's just amazing. We've got local DJs in, and they will play a set right the way through brunch. It is bottomless dim sum brunch, and we pair it with some amazing cocktails, wines, beers, Prosecco. There's no messing around. It's a great experience. It's an hour and a half of bottomless food and drink, about 2 hours at the table you have, and it's brilliant. The place will literally fill up, and you can just hear all the excitement and the noise and people chatting away and just having a great time out there, and that's what we want. We want a really lively dining room, people enjoying themselves, people chatting, just having a great time. So Saturdays and Sundays, it's all about brunches. Saturday evening, it kind of changed the tempo. Still lively, still nice music in the restaurant, but just tone it down a little bit more, and it becomes a bit more about the food and a little bit more about an experience. So Thursday night, Friday night and Saturday night is very much about our food that we're immensely proud of. It's, like we said, the style from Tianjin that we've seen over in China and brought to the UK, and people are really enjoying it and embracing it, which is great to see. We have a special events on Thursdays coming up. Gin Sum, you gotta love the name there. Gin Sum, dim sum and gin. I mean, what more could you possibly want? So again, it's a little bit more casual. It's a bit more almost tapas style. You finish work into Luban, 5 plates of dim sum are going to come out with a few different servings of gin. We have the gin suppliers in, and they'll be talking about their gins, a little bit of information about the making, the process. And they've gone down a real treat, haven't they, with local businesses. We've got, the next one is Murphy's Gin. Yeah. It's next week, isn't it? And then we've got Dim Rum. Again, see what I did there. And the same with local rum producers, and we mix them up as well. We've got Think Some with the Think Wine Group as well, and it's about keeping things fresh, interesting, new, and we want people to come and have a different experience every time they want to come.
And exclusive rooms, obviously within here now, so the chef's table.
The chef's table is epic. So it's 6 covers, 6 people can sit at the table. You are directly in the kitchen, which is the heartbeat of Luban. You're right in there with my team, and it gets a bit crazy, it gets a bit mental, especially on a Saturday night. But there is a taster menu served, our top dishes, and each dish talk through from a member of the staff who's made that dish. I will speak about China and the connections between Liverpool and China and why we've chosen these dishes. And everyone has a great time in there, and we gambe, which is cheers, bottoms up, basically. So that'll be great fun in there. Tianjin room is the classic Chinese banquet room with the large round table and the lazy Susan in the centre, and it's nice banquet style in there. And then back to the wine room, like we've discussed before. This is, probably my favourite, I think. Although they're all good in their own way. Wine room's really nice, really elegant room, great for birthdays, and baby showers and things like that. It's fantastic.
Frank and I have been talking for a little while about how we sort of knit together, sort of bringing those leaders of industry together and picking different subject matters. So we've got a variant set of subject matters. The first one we're doing is sport. We've then got homelessness on there. We've got sustainability. I'm sure what's next for hospitality will come through there, and it is literally invite by Frank. The guests will come along. They'll come along for dinner with us, including wine. There's no such thing as a free lunch. We'll ask them to make a donation to Luban Foundation. They don't have to if they don't want to, of course. But ultimately, what we wanted to do is we want to make a difference, and we want to get people in the room who, ideally, they may do some business together. They may pick up a good contact, but we want everyone to go away from there with sort of one challenge about what they're going to do differently and how they're going to change what they're doing, whether that's sport, whether someone's going to get a little bit healthier, homelessness, what can they do to fix it, or sustainability. So there'll be a lot of challenges around it, and ultimately there was no better sort of partner than downtown for us to turn around and say, look, who can you get in the room and why can you get them in the room? And I've got to come back to is, yes, it's a networking dinner, but it's one that we want to make a difference with. We want to come away from it saying, how will you make a difference by being in the room and coming along to this dinner? There's lots of dinners that you can go to where there's free food and there's free drink. This one will be action-led, and Frank's obviously the leader of it. Yeah. Work some. Is that right? Drink some.
If you enjoyed that video, then please subscribe to our YouTube channel on the link below and be among the first to get to listen to all the latest interviews through the Downtown Den.